Okay, so I'm just editing this video and I've realised that my mic wasn't plugged into my phone properly, so I'm sorry if the sound is a little bit echoey. That's so annoying, but I don't have time to refilm this video, so I hope it's still okay, guys.
Hi guys, it's Jess, welcome back to my channel, and today I have a book haul for you all. I love book haul videos, so I'm super excited to be filming my own, and I really can't wait to share some of the books that I got today with you. I went to a book sale that was in a village near where I live. They were doing a filler box of books for £10 event, so you just buy a cardboard box off them for £10 and then you can browse the boxes of books that they had and you can just fill your cardboard box with as many books as you could, basically. I didn't know this was a thing. I missed it last year, so I was really keen to do it this year. If you live in Leicester or the surrounding areas, definitely check it out. I will put the link in the description below so that you can go and find it. It's on every Wednesday, Thursday and Friday between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. up until the end of August, so you've still got a good 2 and a bit weeks to go and have a look if you fancy. I'm not gonna lie, there weren't that many amazing books. There was a lot of Kathy Kelly, Jilly Cooper, Jackie Collins, Sophie Kinsella, all of the typical rom-coms and contemporary novels and historical fiction. But I'm really happy with the 6 books that I picked up. So, without further ado, let's get into the book haul. One of the books that I picked up that I am super pleased with is Hannibal by Thomas Harris. I used to have a copy of all 3 books in this trilogy, but when I was moving between my university accommodation and this house, I gave them away and I really regretted the decision after I'd done it. I have read Red Dragon and Silence of the Lambs, but I have yet to read Hannibal. This follows on from The Silence of the Lambs, and I know that it's set in Florence, which that just appeals to me straight away because Florence is one of my favourite cities and I really want to go. So that's just making me happy already. I know that this book also has one of the creepiest characters ever written in it. He's called Mason Verger and he's just so utterly disgusting that I'm so excited to find out more about him. Yeah, I'm just this copy is in so much nicer condition than the other one that I had. So I am really glad that I went this morning because I wouldn't have this, and hopefully I will be picking up the other 2 very soon so that I have the full trilogy again. The next book is Inferno by Dan Brown. I am going to admit here and now that I haven't read any of Dan Brown's novels. I have seen The Da Vinci Code and it is one of my favourite films of all time, and I'm very eager to read The Da Vinci Code, but this is the next best thing, right? This book follows Professor Robert Langdon as he wakes up in a hospital in Italy with no recollection of the last 36 hours. He ends up fleeing the hospital with the help of a doctor as they are pursued through the streets of Florence by a female assassin, and they end up embarking on a journey where they have to solve codes and puzzles created by a scientist who has an obsession with the end of the world and a passion for one of the most influential masterpieces ever written, which is Dante's Inferno, hence the title. It sounds so much like the Da Vinci Code that I'm very excited to pick this up, and it's also set in Florence, so that's a bonus. The next 2 books that I wanted to show you are historical fiction novels, and they are The Taming of the Queen by Philippa Gregory and The Cavalier Queen by Fiona Mountain. The Cavalier Queen is about Queen Henrietta Maria. She was married to Charles I, and that's really all I know about this book. I don't really know a lot about the Stuarts, but I am intrigued to find out more. I do know that Charles I played a role in causing the English Civil War, and this book does detail the tensions and the politics that played out around that time in 17th century England. So this sounds like it could be a very, very interesting read. And The Taming of the Queen by Philippa Gregory follows the story of Henry VIII's last wife, Catherine Parr. She was a very independent woman. She was the leader of a religious cult, and she was also a published author, among other things. People accused her of heresy. I love Philippa Gregory's novels. I've read The White Queen a couple of years ago and I really, really enjoyed it. And I have a few more. In fact, I have all of her books on my TBR. I have The Lady of the Rivers, I believe it's called, somewhere on my bookshelf that I'm hoping to read by the end of the year. This might be put to the side for now, but I am definitely planning to read it. The next book that I picked up is another book that I had never heard of, knew nothing about, and that is Valentina by Evie Blake. I picked this book up just because of the cover, really. The cover is just so beautiful. And I've looked at the reviews for this on Goodreads and they are very mixed, but I have discovered that this is an erotic novel and I don't know how I feel about that. I don't really read erotica. I've never read 50 Shades of Grey. I don't really plan to, but something about this just sounds really, really interesting to me, and it's set in two different time periods and it follows two different characters. The first character is called Valentina and she lives in Milan in 2012. She's a photographer and she lives with her lover, but she's not really sure if she wants to settle down yet. When she's offered an intriguing photography assignment, she ends up photographing people who indulge in the darker side of desire, and she ends up getting drawn into that world and discovering things about herself that she never thought she would ever discover. And the second character is called Belle and she lives in Venice in 1924. She's married, but her husband doesn't really fulfill what she needs and desires, and she wants to liberate herself. She feels very constricted by society, so she ends up living a secret life as a courtesan, and she's just longing for a man who can fulfill her desires and love her. And I'm really intrigued to know how these two characters will entwine with each other, how their stories connect. I am sensing a theme here with these books because this book is set in Italy, so that's 3 books I've picked up today that are set in Italy. So, boyfriend, if you're watching, take me to Italy. And the last book that I wanted to show you guys is Blue Bloods by Melissa de la Cruz. Again, this is another book I'd never heard of. It's a YA vampire novel, so I'm a whore for it already. And it's the first book in a series, so I really hope I enjoy it because I need more vampire series to read, frankly. The story behind this book really intrigues me. So when the Mayflower left England for America in 1620 with all the pilgrims on board, turns out some of them weren't even human, they were vampires, and the vampires settled in America really well. They rose to enormous power and wealth and influence, and they became a celebrated and respected part of American society called the Blue Bloods. And the Blue Bloods, that's a really hard sentence to say. The Blue Bloods, they don't really die, they just re-enter a new cycle of life after so long. And then we follow this girl called Shyla Van Allen, I think that's how you say her name, and she's a sophomore in a prestigious private school in Manhattan, and on her 15th birthday she discovers that she's a blue blood. It sounds so cringy, but it also just sounds really fun and really exciting, and I just want to delve into it. but I am going to try and wait till October because I want to add this to my collection of spooky themed and horror themed books for October so that I've got something to read for Halloween. I actually want to show you guys one of the reasons why I picked this book up as well, because it has Muse lyrics in it. I don't know if you can see that, but it has Muse lyrics on the first page, and I fucking love Muse. They are my favourite band in the world, and I can't fault anything that's got an association with these guys. I just can't. So that made me happy. Anyway guys, that was my book haul, and I've realised that I have made my TBR pile even bigger than it was before, so good luck to me. Let me know if you've read any of these books and what your thoughts are on them, and I'm really looking forward to reading them and talking about them with you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please like and subscribe, follow me on Instagram, follow me on Goodreads. I'll put all the links in the description below for you. I will see you in another video. Bye!